Hey YouTube, I have got the craziest story to tell you. I was on this road right here, coming to this red light, and I had stopped at the red light, and this biker chick that was behind me had been tailing me, so she pulls up right beside me, man. She's got on just like some hot shorts or hot pants, whatever you call those things, really short shorts, and like a little crop top, tank top thing. And that's basically all she's wearing, of course, a full face helmet. She comes up right beside me, and as the light turns green, she goes on ahead and goes first. Of course, you know, I'm not going to try to race a crotch rocket, but she goes on ahead and goes on up first, and this guy that was beside her acts like he's ready to race her. He gets in front of her and cuts her off. Now he's in a little Prius, like that little thing right there, like a little Fred Flintstone car. Now he pulls out in front of her, and you know, she gets upset about it. She goes around to the right side of him, kind of like I'm doing to this truck, gets up to the side of him and punches his mirror. Of course, the guy in the Prius gets real upset and guns it. Didn't realize a Prius could do that, but this old Prius just guns it. We finally get to this other stoplight, and they are just, she gets off the bike and just starts yelling at him. He gets out of his car yelling at her. All of a sudden, he had obviously already called the cops. The cops were on the scene not long afterwards. Of course, citing her for a hit and run, for hitting his mirror and trying to flee the scene. I've got all that on video. It's coming up right after this intro. All right, YouTube, you're ready to see that video now, aren't you? Well, sorry about that. That video doesn't exist, and that story never happened. The reason why I opened up with this is very simple. I've been doing some research on the type of videos that most people want to see on YouTube. The highest viewed videos in the motorcycle content area. And here's what it is. Number one are crashes. Now, I wasn't going to make up some kind of story about a crash. Number two is road rage. Road rage is even something that people like to see between cars. Another area that people just seem to be magnetized to is guns. A conflict that has a picture of a gun in it. If I put a gun on my thumbnail, I can guarantee you people are probably going to want to click on that. Another type of video in the motorcycle content area that people really like to watch a lot is confrontations with cops. There's also been videos out there that have like good cop, bad cop, and motorcycle. Or good cop, bad cop versus motorcycle. Cops versus motorcycle. You write that in your search engine, you're going to have so many videos. Another type of video that seems to attract people like flies on poop is cruiser bikes versus sport bikes. Or a sport biker talking bad about Harley Davidson and other cruisers. Or metric cruisers talking bad about Harley Davidson. Or Harley Davidson folks talking bad about metrics. That just seems to be an ongoing issue, and people, for some reason, they just like to watch other people's soapbox about the other bikes that are out there. Now you're probably wondering, why in the world are you looking up what everybody else is watching? Well, in order to make my content a little more interesting for my viewers, I want to see what the content that I produce, what other people are doing that's like it, that gets really high views. This way I can improve upon myself. Now, I have seen the videos that say, hey, don't make an opening that you don't bring forward to the table, like I just did. Don't sit there and make a title for a video and don't have what's in the title in the video. Don't make a thumbnail for a video and not have that in the video. I have seen so many videos that do exactly that. And people click on it and they find out, well, you know what? This isn't what I thought it was. And they leave it immediately. That's the reason why they say don't do that. But my purpose behind doing it today is to grab your attention and then revert it back to what my channel is really about. My channel is not going to have cops with guns. It's not going to have some hot biker chick wearing nearly nothing. It's not going to have a whole lot of road rage and a whole lot of crashes. I did do a whole video on a crash assimilation. And at the end of this video, I'll post a link to that. What I really want to see in videos is bikers doing good deeds. Not bikers popping wheelies, speeding down the road. And see, that's another highly viewed video. Motorcycle speeding, motorcycle tricks, motorcycles doing stunts. Another type of video that's out there that deals with motorcycles is dealing with motorcycle clubs. And most of those videos that have the highest views actually show bad things that motorcycle clubs are doing. The ones that get the lower views are the great things that motorcycle clubs are doing. And believe it or not, there are far more videos out there about the goodwill that motorcycle clubs do, rather than all the shenanigans and hooligan type riding that, you know, you would see some of these other clubs do. There are clubs out there that are 100% good clubs. They have great people in them. They're doing wonderful things for their community, and they're doing wonderful things for great organizations. Now, I do tend to watch a lot of crash videos, and I watch those simply for the educational aspect of it. What can I learn from this guy's mistake or the car's mistake? What could I do to be a better rider? How could we have prevented that crash from happening? However, a lot of times those crashes or near crashes deal with road rage at the end. Sometimes they'll deal with a motorcycle chasing after a car just so they can tell them, hey, you did something wrong. Never get into a confrontation on the motorcycle, because you're going to start speeding. Your mind is not 100% focused on the skills needed to ride that bike. Your mind is focusing on, what am I going to say to that person that just ran out in front of me? What am I going to say to that person who almost sideswiped me? Now, something I want to see more on YouTube, and things I like to watch, great YouTube content that also has high views, are product tests. Product tests is probably one of the highest viewed content for motorcycle media on YouTube. Product reviews, product tests, first rides on a specific bike. Like when the new Harley Davidson Softail lineup came up, people were doing those first rides. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody that does a first ride on the Livewire. There's been the first rides on some of the Indians. I've watched the first rides of the African Twin. So there's a lot of content out there. And it's not just for Harley Davidsons, Hondas, or Indians. They're for every type of motorcycle and biker that's out there. Something I would like to see more of is a combination, like the cruiser that utilizes adventure gear. See, a lot of that adventure gear can be used on a cruiser type motorcycle like what I ride, the Sportster. And I don't see that kind of content out there. Another type of content that's out there just for motorcycles are safety skills, safety tips, and what to practice. Moto-Jitsu has a whole book on what to practice, how to practice it, how to set up your own driving range and practice range. Dan the fireman has done the same thing. He's gone out and done some of Moto-Jitsu's different techniques, mapping out or measuring out things in a parking lot. These are great things to do, and this is the kind of content that improves us as motorcyclists. Another thing that's out there for motorcycles is motorcycle awareness, but also motorcycle safety. Like right now, I'm not riding with somebody right directly to my side. I do have somebody diagonal to me, but it's not smart to have somebody right to your side because you're in their blind spot. They may not see you. They may very well look in their mirror, but they may not see you. So get in a place where you know they're going to get, where you're going to be seen. Give yourself enough of a gap between you and the person in front of you. Just like I have. A transfer truck could get between me and that car in front of me, even though he is tailgating that truck in front of him. If you see somebody tailgating another car, you really need to make sure that you increase your gap. Other type of motorcycle content that's on YouTube that doesn't quite seem to match up with the viewing numbers as crashes, chases, hot babes, and road rage, and that is adventures on motorcycles. Rides to specific places and those where they go and what they're doing on those rides. I saw a great video, and I can't remember the name of it. I have searched for it and can't find it again, but I just happened to come across it one day, and it was an hour long. See, that's something that in other videos I have seen people say, hey, make your videos short, make them long. If you make them longer, you get better data. Okay, I'm going to make my videos as long as I want them to. I'm not going to sit there and be a data hog on that. But this video that I was watching, it showed an entire adventure going to Sturgis on these old school bobbers. At every stop that they would go to, they would sit back and they would video their experiences. It was great. They'd jump in the water of a lake and take a bath right then and there. You know, it was like a carefree type of video, and I really enjoyed watching that. Those are the kind of videos I'd like to see more of. Unfortunately, I can't produce those kind of videos because I have a job and I just can't take off a large amount of time to go on a large or long excursion like that. However, there are video channels out there like Adam Sandoval that goes out on these great excursions 40 times around with Tim. He goes out on these great adventures and he videos it. All along the time, Tim is also giving great tips, product reviews on gear that he uses. When Adam does his, he's going to various different dealerships, different biker events, supporting the troops and veterans. You know, he has his thing, and people are watching that because of that. And that is awesome. Lots of high views because of that style of content. But yet, somebody that just does a benefit ride or a simple ride down, say, the tail of the dragon, you might get 5, maybe 50 views, and that's going to be the highest view. I'm not looking for, you know, 100,000 views in one day. You know, I want longevity. People coming back to see it again, or people referring back to it and suggesting that other people watch it by sharing it maybe a month or 2 later. That's the kind of views I want, because what I'm putting out there isn't something that's only good for that one little period, small period of time. The content that I'm putting out there is more along the lines of safety and awareness, and just good old-fashioned biker fun. You know, the good times we have. Good, clean fun. We're not hurting anybody. We're not doing anything wrong. Those are the kind of things I like to see more on YouTube, rather than the crashes, the chases, not saying I don't want to see hot babes, but, you know, that shouldn't be the #1 thing that draws you to that video. Yes, there are plenty of Daytona bike weeks, the Myrtle Beach bike week, and that has its place, and that's exactly where those hot biker babes belong. Let this truck over. Come on, buddy. Kind of like what I just did. I just let that trucker over and motioned for him to come on over. Instead of doing like what I've seen in a lot of videos, bikers just speeding up to get right beside him, getting into his blind spot, and then finding out, hey, he can't see you, so he runs right over you. Be proactive. I want to see more proactive videos. So therefore, if I want to see more proactive videos, I've got to produce more proactive videos. And that's exactly what I want to put out there on YouTube. I don't want the hot biker babe that does a mirror smash, gets into a confrontation with the guy that she smashed the mirror with. The cops come out, she starts cussing out the cops. You know, I don't want to sit there and have a whole lot of that content. One of the greatest safety tip videos that I would say is out there is dealing with emergency braking. Now, you may be great at emergency braking and feel like, hey, you don't need to practice that because you're a master at it. But you have to remember, the older your motorcycle gets, the more wear and tear you have on your brakes. And your brakes will change. Because they're changing, and because you have that wear and tear on there, your response, your bike's response to what you do mechanically with your hand is going to change. So when you bought your bike brand new and you practiced all those great maneuvers for emergency braking, and 10 years later you still haven't practiced it, your bike's brakes are different than they were when they were brand new. Fast Eddie says it all the time. Shut up and practice. It doesn't matter how skilled you are. You got to get out there and practice these skills. How to get out of a situation. What is your exit strategy for this particular situation? After you've done your emergency braking and you know that you're still in the risk of being in a collision or a crash, what is your exit strategy? Constantly going over that in your head, and that's one of the great things about watching some of these crash videos. You get to do that. You get to get that out through your head. And talking about data that we get from these YouTube videos, I've noticed that I get more likes and shares through Facebook than I do through YouTube. And I really wish YouTube would utilize that data as well as the data that they produce. But they don't. So in order for my videos to, get placed over there on the timeline over there on the right, I've got to get more people that like them and share them inside YouTube. So if you ever see a video and you really like it and you think somebody else would enjoy it, it doesn't matter if it's my video or somebody else's, go directly through YouTube so you can get that link through YouTube to share it. Like it in YouTube. Make a comment in YouTube. That way, that increases their data so they can analyze that data later on. Alright, if you like what you've seen today, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up on YouTube. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that bell to get notified when new videos come your way. There should be another video right over here coming up and another one over here. Until next time, ride safe and always get back home.